Hey YouTubers, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Seems like forever since I've had a chance to post a video, since that last one right around New Year's Day. And I apologize about that. My computer is still on the fritz, but hopefully I will have it back by the beginning of this week. And as I mentioned in that last video, my laptop doesn't record videos for some reason, won't download them right, and just all kinds of crap going on. But anyway, I really miss communicating with you guys and sharing stuff and seeing what you guys have going on. So hopefully I'll be back into a regular flow by the middle of this week when I get my computer back. But anyway, I just have a few new records I want to show here, as well as one new addition to the music room, which is I think is kind of nice. So let's just kind of jump into it, and I'll show you what I got. We'll start out here with a copy of I Wrote a Simple Song by Billy Preston. Really cool album here. Just kind of, early 70s R&B. I think, was it Quincy Jones? Yeah, Quincy Jones and Bobby Womack and a few other people made some appearances on there, so kind of gives you an idea about the flavor of that album. This is Trapeze, self-titled. I think this is their second or third album. I'm not very familiar with it. I know I have one of their albums, but just kind of your basic, mid-70s rock type stuff. I think I found that in the dollar bin and checked it out, and it was worth the pick up. This here, Rory Gallagher. This is Jinx. Just kind of your, just some early 80s guitar rock. And not like 80s pop, but just more of, 80s guitar kind of rock. The guy can actually play a little bit, so that was a nice find for just $1 or so. And then this is a new pickup, Camelot, Poetry for the Poisoned. I really love that album cover. I don't get too much for glam. That's really cool, disturbing, and a lot of things on many different levels, but really cool album cover there. And I guess really the best way to kind of describe this band is, at least I read, that it's kind of like a perfect mixture between metal and classical music. I mean, it's really kind of just something a little bit different. But here's a copy of Alice in Chains' Black Gives Way to Blue. It's a copy I picked up really, really cheap. I think I got it for like $4 or so, something like that. But I already have a sealed copy. I already have a copy of this, so I don't really need this one as well. So if anyone is interested, drop me a message, let me know. I also picked up another copy of Disturb the Sickness, another sealed copy. The copy I currently have is sealed, but I got this one in a markdown at this local store, where it was marked down from $32 down to $8. So I was like, I can't pass that up. So I'm debating about whether I'm going to sell this or just kind of use this as a listening copy to keep my other one sealed, or whatever. Then moving right along, this is what you hear playing in the background, which is R.L. Burnside. Very cool album. I was introduced to by my brother, actually. And, it's kind of an interesting thing because I think he was born like in the late 20s or 30s or something like that. So he's an old guy, but he really didn't take off or make a name for himself until kind of recently, like in our lifetime. So it's kind of cool because he really has like an old the really down-home blues, but with like a lot of modern-day touches on it. And actually, let me just kind of demonstrate this real quick because I think it's worth noting. If you listen to the song that's playing in the background right now, just kind of your very typical bluesy. But then if you go to some of the other things, like the very first song on side one, it's just really your basic standard down-home type blues. But then move again to some other tracks in here, and it's like all of a sudden you've gone like Madonna techno dance type. It's just a very interesting album. He has so many different flavors that he brings in on it. So, I highly recommend checking him out. I'm going to go back a little bit there because of that. It's a very, very interesting blues album. Kind of an old school guy doing a lot of old and new school stuff. But anyway, let's move along. This is a copy of R.E.M., Fable of the Reconstruction. So that was a good pickup. This is another one they had on markdown. I picked this up for like $4 or $5 brand new. Citizens Cope. This is the Rainwater LP. Just kind of some very, I guess I describe it as kind of real light indie type. Some acoustic stuff on there. And then this is a copy of the Casualties, made in New York. If you're not familiar with them, I think the cover kind of speaks for itself. Just kind of a punk / hardcore band. This is just a recording of a live set they did in New York. Really cool stuff. And it also came with a DVD of the performance, which is kind of nice. I mean, you talk about a rowdy hardcore show, man. they were going at it in there, but you know, I don't have a lot of stuff in my punk section, maybe 35, 40 pieces maybe, so this is a very nice addition to that. And they also do a neat cover of the Ramones' Blitzburg Bop on here, which is cool. Rogue Waves, Permalite, another very good pickup. And then a couple 45s of my favorite girl, Joan Jett. As you guys know, I love her to death. And this is a copy of Do You Want to Touch? Then I also picked up a copy of I Love Rock and Roll. Which actually, I had a copy of the 45s already, but I found these with the sleeves for only $2 each, so I wanted to pick those up. So if anyone is interested in either one of these 45s, like I said, I do have an extra one with no sleeve, but I'll be happy to trade or whatever with those. And I think as far as new vinyl and stuff, that's about it. One other new addition that I did bring to my music room, which is this right here, which is kind of my new stereo setup, which is this Pioneer, I think XX750 receiver and the Yamaha P350 belt-driven turntable. And I got those running off to these, I think they're called RX10 speakers over here that I tucked underneath there. So that was really kind of nice, because what I wanted to do, what I was kind of going for is, you know, right now with my system I'm running the Music Hall turntable, which is absolutely great, I love it to death, as well as these Martin Logan electrostatic speakers, you know, kind of the whole electrostat thing or whatever. And, you know, I kind of thought, yeah, it's nice to have good components like that and a good system. I still need to upgrade my receiver on that, but anyway, you know, and all that good stuff. But I thought it'd also be really cool to have a system that's really more vintage. I mean, kind of like the format of vinyl itself. So you can really kind of listen to the music in the way that people listened to it 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and that type of thing. And since a lot of this vintage stuff is so cheap, I thought, well, yeah, let me go ahead and just put together a vintage system, and you know, so that's kind of what I came up with, and it's really cool because the music really does sound different. The very first thing I played on here was Neil Young's La Noise, and sure enough, it sounded completely different than it sounded when I played through my Music Hall and the Martin Logans here. You know, things came out in the songs that I hadn't heard before. So if any of you have ever debated it or thought about it, I'd highly recommend, you know, just going and buying some cheap vintage stuff that's, you know, decent, but just not, you know, your $500-$600 entry-level turntable, or, you know, your $5,000-$6,000 higher-end turntables or whatever. It really makes the music sound a lot different. So that was a pretty cool addition to the music room. So that's about all the things to show for today. I do have this box down here that has some stuff that I'm going through. This is stuff I'm keeping, but then everything behind here is all stuff that I'm going to either selling on eBay or looking to trade. And what I also thought about doing too is, I know there's a lot of new vinyl collectors out there, and I hope you guys, whoever's listening to this, will stay honest with this, but I also thought, instead of trying to sell every single record that I want to get rid of, it could be kind of cool to help some other collectors start to build their collections up just by, you know, giving them some records, or allowing them to you know, maybe just pay for postage and get some of my older records, not older, but doubles and things that I don't want out to them. So for any of you guys who are new to collecting, let's say you have less than 25, 30 records, something like that, and again, I hope you guys are honest about this, but someone who's kind of in that category, shoot me over a quick email and let me know. Maybe let me know the type of styles and music that you like. And if I have something else that maybe typically I would sell for $3 or $4 or $5, I think it'd be kind of cool to pass those on to someone too, just to help them kind of get their collection rolling around. So again, I hope you all will be honest about that. And a lot of you already know because you've mentioned a number of times you're just starting collecting and blah blah blah. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Great, almost seeing you guys again in the way we can see each other through YouTube. And hopefully I'll be back very soon. All right, take care, guys.